I know this is an unlisted number. I'm a friend of his. Will you put him on? Mick. Mick Jagger, dummy. Mick who? Mick? Hi. Yeah, how's it going, man? Listen, I like the album. Yeah, has a really nice feel to it. Mellow, but aggressive. Right. How's Jade? That is one beautiful kid you got there, man. Hey, and you're so right, you know, when you say kids do not need parents. You're so goddamn right, man. How's the team? Yeah? Hey, I got something amazing to tell you, man. Suze was doing the tarot for me, and you got it. 3 of Cups, reversed, under the female pope. Yeah. Oh, sure I can hold. Hey, let me talk to Keith. He's just putting some more ice in his tequila.
Cool.
Hi, Keith. Anita. And goddamn Nita. When was the last time I saw you, man? Yeah, right. Munich. The spade with a wooden leg. Good times, man. Listen, how is Marlon? I love that kid. I mean, kid Schmidt, but Marlon is something else, man. And like, Keith is so amazing with him. I love that guy. And you. And Marlon. And the whole goddamn band, man. Yeah, and Mel. Mel Collins. He plays sax on the album.
I know.
Listen, tell Charlie he still owes me $50 on that pool game in Dallas. Yeah, and tell Bill this is it's kind of a private joke with me and Bill, but you can tell him. Once you leave the highway, the signs aren't easy to read. He'll know what I mean. And Anita, hey, baby, listen, I'll see you in Paris on the 22nd. You bet your goddamn life we will, eh? To a right, sweetheart. Hey, tell Ron I'll kick his ass. What's the lineup, Vera?
Vera, real name John Coulson, aged 18, lead vocal, rhythm guitar. Pete Murgatroyd, 17, lead guitar. Julian O'Brien, 18, drums and percussion. Willie Barnes, 22, bass. Mike Hill, 19, keyboards and backing vocals. But all self-taught except Mike. He's classically trained.
I've had piano lessons.
We've been together 3 months in the present lineup. Do you want to know how we got together?
Not particularly. How would you define your music?
We don't like to be categorised. To us, music's all just music. We're very, what's the name?
Eclectic.
We're very eclectic.
But if you want, you can call us new wave pop funsters with heavy satirical overtones.
Mike co-writes most of our material. He's very political. His dad's on the council.
What would you say are your main influences?
Stranglers, Magazine, and Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah, how about going a bit further back, you know, any of the really big names?
What? Going right back? You mean early 70s, Roxy Music?
No, you've got a single out. How's it doing?
Well, fantastic, really good, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
It got playlisted on Radio Hallam week before last.
And do you think success will lead you to compromise?
No. I think we'll be able to handle riches and fame. So we're all very genuine, sincere musicians. Who aren't in it for the money and the cheap thrills.
Thank you. Now, looky here. I did not say I was a millionaire. But I said I have spent more money than a millionaire. Because if I had kept all the money that I already spent, I would have been a millionaire a long time ago. And women, way googly moogly. I thought I might do a short piece about references to fatal illnesses in blues and rock lyrics. You know, trace a tradition through Alan Wolfe, Van the Man, Lightning Hopkins.
Emily Bronte.
Up to a point, yeah. John Keats, the Jim Morrison of the pre-rock and roll era.
Sounds really boring. Should go down well with our readers.
I'll have to include Huntington's career.
Who?
It's a disease. Woody Guthrie died of it.
And Bob Dylan was at the bedside, I know.
Dylan also played harmonica for Victoria Spivey.
Who recorded TB Blues.
And just taking Dylan's first album, you've got In My Time of Dying, Fixing to Die, See That My Grave Is Kept Clean.
What you're trying to say is you want to write about Dylan again. How many articles have you done on Dylan?
17.
Willie Bounds, 22, bass.
How about attitudes to women in middle period Dylan? Did he really write Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands for Sarah, as he later claimed? Or was she just another incarnation of motorcycle Black Madonna, two-wheel Gypsy Queen?
How about why has Liberace never married? Was it just that he never found the right girl?
How about me bus fare for going to see Vera and the Vultures? Eat your heart out, Fleet Street.
Changes. Yeah, that's right. Who? Oh, you mean Dylan, a Jewish Messiah? Yeah, last month. Hey, Nev, you got a fan? Yeah, you want Neville Morris. He's in our editorial department. Yeah. Hang on, I'll see if he's in. Who's calling? Ellie Smith.
Ellie Smith. She's Dylan's press manager.
Hang on. I'm putting you through.
Oh, God. Oh, wow, man. Ellie? Hi. Hello. Hey, it's Nev Morris here. Oh, well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm doing another piece, actually, on his attitudes to... What? Bob liked it? Really? Oh, wow, I'm knocked out. Oh, you bet I'll be there. Oh, I've got the tickets here. What? He wants to meet me. Are you No, is this... Yeah. Yeah, I will. Right. Ciao. Bobby wants to meet me. Backstage. After the gig at Earl's Court. Me. Wow! It's the acest thing that's ever happened. Hey, maybe he'll ask me to join his retinue, you know, in some small capacity. Resident...
Emetic.
Amanuensis. He read my article, and he liked it, and he wants to meet me. Oh, come on, Frankie, it's amazing! Just ask for Ellie.
Yeah, well, you better not go around grinning and jumping like a butcher's dog when you meet Dylan.
Of course I won't. I mean, I have interviewed name bands before, you know.
Yeah, but Dylan is not a name band.
I know. He's the name band. I've got 4 days in which to prepare myself. Will I be ready for him?
Will he be ready for you?
What's the most fantastically great thing that could ever happen?
Oh, I don't know. Frankie's been removed from the editorship in a bloodless coup, and you've taken over.
Something infinitely better. Oh, Suze, come here. I'm talking to you.
What?
2 more guesses.
Half a bitter and a bottle of brown.
You've got a weekly column in Melody Maker and 3 LPs for the rest of your life?
Better than that.
Oh, I don't know. You've got an exclusive interview with Bob Dylan. 45, love.
And a medium sherry and a gin and tonic.
Yeah. Right.
Well, what then?
You've got it. Bobby wants to meet me.
Yeah, you're pulling my leg.
I'm not honest. I just got a phone call, and he read my Dylan, a Jewish Messiah, ? And he liked it, and he wants to see me after the gig at Earl's Court.
And there you were, thinking you were the lone voice of sanity and reason.
And all the time, Dylan was sat in a room somewhere reading my words, and do you realise? The hands, the fingers that held the pen, that wrote just like Tom Thumb's Blues and Queen Jane approximately, actually held my writing, and his eyes read my words, and his brain actually formed an opinion about me.
And his mouth probably spoke your name. He probably said, I want to meet Neville Morris.
And the medium sherry, please.
Oh, Neville. It's unbelievable.
You realise everything hangs on this one meeting. I mean, my life's work's on the line here. I mean, he might... Well, anything could happen. He might ask me to write with him or something. Or you never know. He might ask my opinion on something like to do with politics or religion or music or seagulls or Davy Crockett or gasoline.
Can we have some service here, please?
Just a minute, love.
But listen, if you tell anyone about this, don't make them think I'm too knocked out, okay?
Might sing with the soldier boy behind. He's much older now, we've had on drinking wine. And the smell of sweet perfume comes drifting through. Oh, the cool night air like Shalimar. Outside the making of a stop. She's out in the street collecting bubble wrap. Gone cigarette.
What's this? Your latest reject from Zigzag.
Read it, you might learn something.
Ammo when you get a face. It fascinates to observe what the mirror does, but when I dine for the wall that I've set a place, I belong to the blank generation, and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. Well,
I can't use it.
Your generation wouldn't understand it anyway. All you know from is wearing flared trousers and carrying handbags.
These are not flared, they're just as baggy at the bottom as they are at the top.
Yeah, well, you've got one of them Greek shoulder bags with tassels on and an ex-army grey coat. It's pathetic. Where's your love beads and your caftan?
We're supposed to go around looking like a puffin in an oil slick now, are we?
You don't begin to understand the importance of rubber and bondage in new wave music, do you?
Listen. Last week, it was new wave and black leather. The week before, it was new wave and plastic. Why don't you go and bother the Observer Colour Supplement? They might give you a couple of pages on new wave and how it's bleeding tweed.
Nah, get back to Woodstock. You know what you are? You're the older generation.
Oh, yeah. And what's your generation ever done? Listen, when I was your age, we were out fighting in the streets, kicking police horses, leaping out of windows totally zonked. Just so you could sit here what you are today, a liberated, radiant little boil on the buttocks of society.
We'll get you. One of these nights, me and me mates, and it won't be a custard pie job.
I'm terrified.
Have you got any records going?
Yeah, you can have them on the speaker.
Oh, great. Do you want me to review them?
If they were worth reviewing, I wouldn't be giving them to you, would I? You'll probably get £1 a piece for them down the market.
Hey, I might hang on to some of these. Do you want me to review any concerts? They don't have to be new wave gigs. I'm dead tolerant, me. Open-minded.
Muddled.
Has Neville been in?
Yeah. Yeah, he's out celebrating.
I thought he might be. Probably gone off smoking dope with that embroidered lavatory brush of a girl of his. Hey, no. I tell you what. He's probably dropped that sugar lump he's had in the fridge since the Isle of Wight. Probably freaking out on all the colours, man.
What do you mean? You thought he might be out celebrating? Hey, come on, Baz. What gives?
You've got to promise not to tell then.
Brodie's honour. I swear on the inner sleeve of Astral Weeks. What?
He got a phone call, didn't he? From Dylan's press manager, Ellie Smith, right?
Yeah.
Do Julie Taylor. My mate Julie. That's who it was. She's buzzing at doing Yankee voices. Hi there, Neville. I loved your article.
You slimy little bastard.
Oh, come on, serves him right, doesn't it? Him and his constructive criticism. Patronising little creep. Tell you what, it just shows you how deluded he is. Dylan liked his article. Dylan probably wouldn't even use it for bog paper. Hey, but it'll be ace amusing, won't it? Old Knocky Morris trying to get into the dressing room after the gig. No, I'm invited, honestly I am.
Yeah, well, you better tell him, Baz.
What? Tell the kiddies there's no Father Christmas? Who could be so heartless, Frankie?
Yeah, well, if you don't, I will.
Can I be there when you do?
I expect there'll be a lot of other people there.
Bound to be. I'm not expecting an exclusive audience. I wish I could. We could talk a lot better without crowds of liggers hanging around.
Only he might have forgotten who you are by the time you get to meet him. Well, there are so many people trying to get to him.
Yeah, but how many of them have written in detail about references to the Talmud in his work?
Probably about half. No, just discreetly carry a copy of the article so he can see it.
How uncool can you get? What, I'm supposed to sidle up and tap him on the shoulder with a rolled-up paper and say, I am Neville Morris and I claim my 5 minutes? Or should I just go, yo, Bobby, it's me?
Actually, that might be the best idea. I bet he's sick to death of people trying to be cool. You want to come on all gushing and leaping about, he'll love it.
Do you want me to look an idiot? Dylan's had it up to here with hip reporters and the rock press. That's why he really goes for blind lift attendants and sweaty old niggers in flowered dresses that are bust under the armpit because they're real people. I mean, they don't want anything from him. They're not like a rushing off to some dinner party just so they can say, incidentally, I was talking to Bobby last night, Bobby Dylan, and he said, whatever. God, I wish I was blind. He'd love me if I was blind.
Or if you were deaf.
But if I was deaf, I couldn't have heard his music.
Oh, but he'd really love you.
No, it wouldn't be worth it.
You mustn't be too humble with him.
Well, I feel humble. Well, what do you want me to do? Kick him and say, screw you, you stinking rotten genius?
Just don't tell him he's your hero, that's all.
Oh.
I bet he's heard that more times than he's been asked what his songs mean. What you need is a letter of introduction.
I'm not a bleeding Deb. Anyway, who from?
Oh, I don't know. Alan Ginsberg. Couldn't you get a letter from Alan Ginsberg?
Oh, I bet people are always crawling up saying they know Alan and what a great cat he is. Dylan probably hates him. He's an embarrassment. A big, slobby, so-called poet. He only keeps him on as a butt for his cruel wit. At least I hope it's that. Personally, I wouldn't like to think he's got a soft spot for creeps.
What if he hones his vicious wit on you?
The worst thing will be if he's extremely courteous and kind and polite, and all the time his foot's tapping and his eyes are glazing over. I'd rather he screamed at me.
What do you want him to scream?
Oh, anything. As long as it's fairly profound.
No. He'll think you're copying him.
Well, maybe I could get a railroad engineer's cap to remind him of the old days.
Have you got one?
No, but Hepworth do something very similar in navy blue corduroy.
Oh, he wouldn't even notice. He's not into clothes.
He won't notice, but I will. Everything's got to be right. If I feel wrong, I should be doomed from the start.
Well, he won't admire you for wearing anything denim, so that's out. A velvet suit?
It's not a variety club dinner.
Well, you could go naked.
You mean as a sort of reference to that line in It's All Right, Ma'am, Only Bleeding?
Well, at least it'd give him a clue you were Jewish.
But he already knows that. He's read the article.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to take him a present?
I'd like to, but it would have to be the right present.
I could embroider him a cushion.
Oh, yeah. And Dylan would hand it to one of his entourage. You would hand it to someone else who'd put it down behind a crate of ale and it'd get left behind and forgotten. It's got to be a present that means something. I bet people are always laying stuff on him.
Well, there must be something he wants.
Yeah. To be left alone.
Listen, Dylan didn't have to be a superstar. He chose it. If he wanted to be left alone, he should have stayed in Minnesota. We'll give him something that's a souvenir of his visit.
How about a poker work sign that says, you don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps?
Well, you could give him a poem. One of your lyrics.
I could give him my song to Bobby number 23. did write some music for it, actually, but it didn't seem to go very well. I wanted something sharp and crisp sounding, but it ended up a bit limp. Anyway, I'll read it out, see how it sounds. Song to Bobby, number 23. Flying low, twirling, broken strings of melancholy, singing. No more sticky web, no silken thread, no needles in my mind. Then higher, pitying poor Gulliver, tied to the sand, but such responsibilities, breeding hooks and eyes and fears, that sudden need for cunning, tolerating fools, the sound of voices whispering, little man, you're human, hand over those wings.
Hey, that's great. I really like it. When did you write that?
Oh, ages ago. After Highway 61 came out. Did you, understand it?
Yeah. Well, I think so.
Well, it is open to various interpretations, like
Dylan's songs.
Well, I wouldn't presume to think that.
Well, I think you should give it him. I could copy it out in black ink on parchment and illuminate the borders.
Well, like a medieval manuscript, that'd be knockout. Tell you what, we could tie it up with 40 red, white, and blue shoestrings.
Well, does he mean 40 red, white, and blue shoestrings? Or does he mean like 13 red, 13 white, and 14 blue?
I don't know. I'd always assumed they were striped, but I can't be sure.
I don't suppose it matters, really.
Of course it matters. Everything matters, whether I smoke a cigarette or scratch myself or blow me nose, or whether I offer to shake hands, or whether I roll a joint, or... What if there's a joint going around? Whether I take it? So I can't afford any blunders.
Oh, Neville. It's just like when I did my A-levels. You'll get so crammed full of the set books and the right answers you won't be able to think.
What, you reckon I should play it by ear? Some sort of existentialist improvised verbal jam session? I can't do that. No. The whole encounter has to be planned like a military operation, right down to the way I move. I have to hit something between posed indifference and leaping enthusiasm.
Leaping indifference?
Carrying you in our arms on Independence Day. And now you throw us all aside and put us on our way. Oh, what did darling want? Neath the sun would treat her father so. To wait upon him hand and foot, yet always answer no. Tears of rage, tears of grief. Why am I always the one who must be a thief? Come to me now, you know it. Sorrow grows, and life is grief.
Personally, I wouldn't want to meet Dylan. Not unless I could meet him as an equal. Well, not equal, but on the same level. Say if I was designing an album cover for him, or if he wanted me to, oh, I don't know, play in his band or something. Tambourine, maybe.
Just listen to this from Sam Shepard. The only protected space is up on stage. Dylan says it's the only time he feels alone. No one can touch him. No one can sidle up pretending it's just an accidental encounter and pick his brains, his heart, his skin, his flesh and blood. Well, I don't want to carve my initials on the poor bastard. I just want to tell him what he means to me.
Do you want a comma after Gulliver?
No commas.
Well, you've got a comma in the first line here.
Doesn't matter, I doubt whether he'll read it. I could just hand it to him and walk away.
Bit rude.
Well, if I could write a speech and memorize it, Bob, I'd say, you don't know me, but I've known you for 15 years. You're part of my life. But sometimes I think you're more real than I am. No, I can't say that. That's putting more burdens on him. I could do a surrealist rap. Bobby, this is what your music means to me. Dawn. Twilight. Coffee bars. Street corners. Neon signs. Motorbikes. Rivers. Blueness. Cats. Whiskey. Mattresses. Gypsies. Ghosts. Venetian blinds. Porches. Broken chairs. Gravestones, trumpets, decay, bones, bandits, blood, icy windows, angels, tears, death, birth. They'll think I'm a nutter. Bob, yeah, I want you to know that I never thought you were a prophet or anything, or a spokesman for my generation or any other. I understood you spoke only for yourself. Bob, listen. I saw you at the Albert Hall in '66, when you just started doing electric stuff, using a band. And all those jerks in the audience kept shouting out, "We want folk music." And that guy at the back shouted out, "Judas!" And you snarled back at him, "I don't believe you. You're a liar." And went straight into like a rolling stone. Nearly broke my heart. But then why should he believe me?
Why shouldn't he believe you?
Because nobody who was there in '66 is going to admit now that they were less than knocked out with electric Dylan, are they? I mean, everyone's going around saying, I tried to tell them, but they wouldn't listen. I really did try to tell them. Well, that's like saying I was first in the queue, all these people pushed in front of me. It sounds pathetic.
What you really want is for him to put his hands on your shoulders and look at you with his great warehouse eyes and say, "Neville, I feel like I've known you all my life. I want you to come on tour with me so I can talk to you about me problems."
You're right. Oh, God, you're right. Hey, come over here a minute.
Why? I can't. I've got to do this.
Now, you're Dylan, right?
Don't be.
No, you can do it. Now, let me set the scene. You've got to imagine it's half an hour after the gig, right? You're in the dressing room and you're just starting to relax.
How was it, the gig?
Great. Absolutely fantastic. Best you've ever done.
Sorry, have we started?
Not yet, no. Now, you're sitting there, right, and all around you there's aging groupies, a record company smoothies, guys out of the band, gophers, parasites, bouncers, roadies, cans of beer, plates of smoked salmon, people snorting coke, rolling joints, shaking spit out of saxophones, telling jokes. It's somewhere between a Jewish wedding and Chipperfield Circus. And you're sat there, right, in the middle of all this. The eye of the storm. Employing a famous gift for silence.
Can we start?
Have you got the picture?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I come up to you, right, and one of the henchmen says, "Oh, Bobby, this is the guy you wanted to meet, Neville Morris from Changes." Right. What do you say?
Hi.
Now, look at my face. Do I look better like this? Or like this?
Oh, you look better smiling.
Now, you're not Sue, remember, you're Dylan. Now, are you sure this doesn't look too eager?
Well, you look a bit manic.
Well, of course I look manic. I'm under a lot of pressure.
Look, just give me the poem.
Look, are you going to be proper or not?
Come on, hand me the poem.
I can't. It's not the moment. I don't think there will be a moment.
You mean I've been wasting me time?
Hey, forget the poem. I've got a better idea. The article's about Talmudical references, right? I'll give him a talith. You know, a Jewish prayer shawl. You could embroider it.
I've spent hours doing that rotten poem.
Well, it was a bad idea.
The whole thing's a bad idea.
You don't understand, do you?
I don't understand what I'm doing in a stupid hat analysing your stupid facial expressions, no.
I'm going out. I'll bring you a cheeseburger without onions.
Oh, which LP did that come from?
you say your main influences?
Stranglers, Magazine, and Susie and the Banshees.
How about going a bit further back, you know, any of the... Evening.
Oh, you're still talking to the hoi polloi, then?
You don't say the hoi polloi. Hoi already means the. You say, still talking to hoi polloi. Actually, you'd say tus pelus. Hoi is the wrong case, you see, it's the nominative. So what you'd say to be absolutely correct...
As a matter of interest, what's Greek for boring old fart?
Listen, I might look like Robert Ford, but I feel just like Jesse James.
What's he on about?
Outlaw blues, bringing it all back home.
Side 1, track 5, verse 2.
Amen. Anyway, congratulations.
Well, it was only a matter of time. Mind you, I had a feeling about that particular article. I put a hell of a lot of research into it. It was definitive.
You're squandering a great talent, you know. You ought to be using all them brains on something a bit more important and relevant, instead of wasting them on a clapped-out old dinosaur like Dylan. I mean, why don't you do something in depth about the Buzzcocks?
The Buzzcocks?
Don't knock them, Nev. They sell a lot of records.
So do Woolworths.
That makes me puke. All this crap about Dylan being a poet and a philosopher.
A finely tuned critical response.
It's all flammed up. It's a media conspiracy. The Emperor's new clothes. You've been conned. You've spent 15 years trying to understand the deep mystical significance of songs that were probably written with a dictionary and a pin.
Oh, you prefer songs to be written with a subway and an aerosol can.
Right.
One day, when I've got the time, I'll play you the key tracks and explain their significance.
You might have time. I haven't.
But Dylan also happens to be an ace musician.
The Halley Orchestra's full of them.
Well, he's a rocker. He has a deep, intuitive understanding of rock and roll.
Oh, leave it out. He's elderly. He's got about 48 ankle biters and 20 accountants.
I know you're jealous, Baz. But don't try and criticize what you can't understand.
Yeah, well, I hope you and Bobby will have a nice, long, friendly chat. You'll find you got a lot in common. You're both tedious old scumbags.
I don't actually dislike Baz, you know.
Yeah, well, he dislikes you, babe.
I mean, his generation will never understand rock. I mean, they've not been around since the beginning.
Yeah, well, maybe we've been around for too long. How would you feel? I mean, how might you feel if they don't let you in to see the Big D?
What? How do you mean?
Well, you know, I mean, there might be sort of loads of heavies hanging around a stage door. I mean, they might not let you in.
I'll just say Ellie Smith rang.
Yeah. But what would you do? I mean, if you get the elbow, how would you feel?
I'll get in. Don't worry. Will you do me a favor, man?
Hmm?
If I pretend to be Dylan, will you be me? Well, I need to rehearse, man.
You want me to be you? You don't want me to be Dylan?
No, I tried that with Suze. It didn't work. I wish that for just one time I could stand inside his shoes. And just for that one moment, he could be me. Hey.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I can capture your subtle blend of arrogance and stupidity, but I'll have a go.
I wonder if Dylan ever worries about how people see him. I mean, I've read interviews with him where he says, there's a million me's, everybody's a poet, but, see, but he can afford to be generous because he knows it's not true.
Yeah, well, it's just to relieve the burden of his own genius. You know, I'm not the second coming, I'm just the song and dance man.
Hey, let me worry about what's in Bobby's head. You just psych yourself into the part of Neville Morris. Right? Go on.
Okay.
I would not go, Now, come on, do it proper, Frankie.
Excuse me. I beg your pardon, Bobby?
You want to be pardoned, man? Better go find yourself some kind of priest.
No, you misunderstand me. I was told that you wanted to see me.
Hey, man, all the troubles in the world are from guys believing what they're told.
Yeah, that's really true, that. I'm Neville Morris from Changes. I wrote the Dylan, a Jewish Messiah piece.
You ever read Henry Thoreau?
I don't know. What did he write?
You gotta ask me that, man. You never read him.
Thoreau. Henry Thoreau.
Time is but the stream I go fishing in.
Hey, that's really great.
You dig that?
Yeah.
Then go see Henry Thoreau in his dressing room.
Isn't he dead?
And what makes you think I'm alive?
How do you mean?
Well, I can tell you what I mean, but I can't tell you how I mean. Well, nobody ever wrote me no articles about that.
I'm completely lost.
Well, you ain't gonna be found here, man. Ain't no searchers been around this corner.
Yeah, well, I don't believe he's that hostile. Not these days.
Well, I don't believe I'm that useless. You don't give me much credit, do you? Make me sound a right pillock.
Yeah, well, that's because you are a right pillock. Anyway, if you don't like my interpretation, get Brando to do it.
Well, don't you get like Suze.
I don't understand this anyway. I mean, you can be you better than I can. I mean, you is you. You're almost believable.
You're right. Hey, Bobby, what do you think about Life? Well, it was a pretty good magazine till it folded. Bobby, I've got something for you. I thought I'd like to give you a present. Hey, man, give me a past or a future, but don't give me no present.
You're going to end up a right nutter, you are. I'm not joking.
Only the madman never jokes, and only the joker is sane.
I don't know what we ever saw in this guy.
$19. Have we got indigestion tablets?
You finished them last night.
We had 2 packets.
I know.
I'm just thinking how he despised me if he could see me now. And there he is, the night before a crucial performance, sleeping like a rich man's child. And there's me, wide awake with the guts rumbling and me brain bursting.
What else can I say? I've offered to come with you.
Well, I'd like you to, but it'd be inhibiting. I'd be looking over my shoulder in case you were laughing at me. I wonder if he fancied you.
I wouldn't go with him.
Oh, yeah?
I wouldn't want to be one in a long line of forgotten faces. I'd rather be remembered as the one who could have had Dylan and said no. They must be so strong and confident, these women, to think they've got anything you might want, apart from what we've all got.
Well, you need a lot of self-delusion to be a groupie.
Yeah, but, oh, I don't know. Here's me, struggling to be an artist and make something out of me life, and rock stars who you'd think would want interesting people around always team up with talentless, vacuous ex-models who don't do anything. I'm sure they're very nice. But why do rock and roll legends always end up with dozy women?
Well, there's only room in the bus for one enormous ego.
The reactionary little sods, rock stars. They don't want women to be equal or individual. They just want to break off a little piece of that great adoring mass of fans and carry it around with them between gigs.
Well, I've got to screw something.
Yeah, but why are they always models? Always.
Because they're the walking equivalent of a gold disc. But the question is, can anyone be a genius without being a bastard? They can't. I mean, you can't walk on stage and say, here's a mediocre little song. You can always boo if you don't like it.
I'd never have the bottle to think I could keep Dylan or Jagger interested in me.
Yoko Ono isn't a model.
So what's the first thing she does? Poses nude for an album sleeve. Don't try to console me with Yoko Ono.
Do you wish I was a musician?
No. Well, not really.
Well, what do you mean, not really?
Well, a bit of me does, I suppose.
Well, I thought you were proud of me being a journalist.
Oh, Neville, I am. Oh, you know how I get when I start thinking about Bianca Jagger. I feel so threatened.
What gets me is there are people in this world so insensitive that they could walk up to Dylan and talk to him like an equal. And even worse, that must be how he wants to be spoken to. I mean, I can understand it, but I don't think I can do it.
Why not?
Well, partly because you'll think I'm just another thickie, and partly because I'll be too awe-stricken. God!
Stop torturing yourself. When Ellie Smith rang up, you were over the moon.
I am over the moon. But when I think how perfect it could be and what a disaster it will be, it's very painful. You see, there's no one else I want to meet. The thing that frightens me most of all...
Shut up.
I've got this dreadful vision the rest of me life. I won't be Neville Morris. I'll be Neville Morris, the guy who once met Dylan. At best, I'll be an object of curiosity, having to relive the same 10 minutes of my life over and over for anyone who asks. At worst, I'll be a bore, talking about it when no one's even interested. Do you realize the only remotely interesting thing about me is the fact that tomorrow night I'm going to meet Bob Dylan?
But every day of the year, like playing Russian roulette. True love, true love, true love takes the forget. In my head's full of questions. My temperature is running fast. And I'm looking for some answers. But I don't know who to ask. But I'm walking and wondering. My poor feet don't ever stop.
Go on, then. Let's hear what you're going to say to him.
So, first off, I ask him why he's never made an album of rock and roll standards like Lennon did.
Yeah, only don't mention Lennon as such. I mean, just allude to him.
Allude.
In passing.
Yeah, allude in passing.
If you're going to take a notebook, you might as well take a cassette recorder.
I'm not going to let him see this. Now, shall I suggest any specific tracks he should include on the album?
20 Flight Rock.
In the still of the night.
In the still. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, it's presumptuous to mention titles. I just want to plant the seed of the idea.
Only you might see it as an implied criticism.
When Phil Ox told them, can you please crawl out your window, wasn't as good as Positively 4th Street. Dylan never spoke to him again.
Well, he's never going to speak to me again anyway. Suppose I ask why at the end of Ballad of a Thin Man on the 65 recording he sings, you should be made to wear earphones. And on the 66 bootleg he sings, you should be made to be wearing all kinds of telephones. And on Before the Flood he sings, you should be made to be wearing a telephone. And then in When I Paint My Masterpiece he sings Botticelli's niece in one version and A Pretty Little Girl from Greece in another. And then in that last...
If you met Shakespeare, would you ask him why the first folio was different from the second folio?
What would you ask Shakespeare?
Why only left Anne Hathaway's second best bed?
Typical.
Well, what would you ask him then?
What he thought of Dylan. Just in case he asks me who I am and where I've been, I've made up an autobiography.
Am I in it?
Possibly. But I can't tell him he met at teacher training college.
Dylan went to college.
Yeah, but he denied it afterwards. He invented himself. He's into fantasy.
Well, go on, then. Who are you?
And where have you been? I'm an orphan. My mother was Spanish, and she was knifed by a jealous lover. I never knew my father, but somebody told me he was a piano player.
Honky-tonk or classical?
I thought rather in the style of Meade Lux Lewis.
So far, so good.
I was brought up by a tribe of travelling horse traders.
Bit alliterative.
I travelled across Europe on horseback and wound up in Hamburg. Hung out with a junkie stripper, saw the Beatles at the Star Club in '61, went to Greece, lived on the street, did a bit of busking.
How did you learn English?
You went to teacher training college.
I've been trying to work miners in summer. Dylan's very keen on miners. Oh. Do they have coal mines in Spain?
Oh, I should think so. Los Pits Español, Jose Gormley and Arturo Stargell.
I'll skip the mining stuff.
Tell him you used to be a midget in a circus and you grew. I suppose he asks if he can play the guitar.
Actually, in all the interviews with Dylan I never read, he's never asked anybody anything.
Well, we've been here for 2 hours, and so far you've only got one question to ask him.
I've got a poison headache. It's all the tension. I mean, there he is with his gigantic talent, and he wants adulation, because that's the currency we pay him in, but he despises it because he can't be bought. And the worst thing is knowing that it's scoffing little journalists like me that he hates most of all. Because we chase him into corners and stare at him and ask ludicrous questions.
Your questions aren't ludicrous.
Have you got me talent?
What?
Me prayer shawl. Have you got me prayer shawl?
Country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks on or raises it. Someday I'll make it mine. If I can only turn back the clock to when God in her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
When he sang May You Stay Forever Young, I started crying. Couldn't help it.
Oh, I'm dead glad he blew that Mick Ronson and got himself a really tight band. I'm not too sure about the backing singer, so... Hey, Ned, do you reckon he meant when he said that Shelter from the Storm was the story of his life? Do you think it means he's a creature void of form?
Oh, God, it's worse than anything. I must be crazy. What am I doing here? I feel ill. I need a drink. I think I'm going to faint. Hold my hand.
Nev, I've got something to tell you. I would have told you before, but I didn't want to spoil the concert for you. That phone call from Ellie Smith, it was a hoax. Baz Whiston, one of his friends, well, they did it for a joke.
How do you know?
Well, Baz told me he owned up.
In a way, I'm relieved.
He's making it up. Baz is making it up. He didn't want me to meet Dylan. He's dead jealous. It's obvious. He's trying to kid us. It wasn't real. And you believed him.
It's the truth, Nev.
Oh, no.
You go through that door, all you're going to get is a broken arm.
No.
Neville! You've forgotten your... talent. You got any cigs left?
No.
I had 2 full packets when we got here.
Ooh, tired. We got no sleep last night.
I'm starving.
We went back to the hotel. I forgot you were still here. I had to get the security guy to let me in. Come on.
What happened?
Yeah, did you see him?
What did he say?
What's he like?
How did you get in?
What happened?
We talked.
It's that time of the hour we have to run.